All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a long overdue episode of formerly Outdoors Podcast, still Outdoors Podcast on Outdoors with AJ. I haven't decided what the hell this is going to be called yet, but my good buddy, my best fishing buddy, arguably one of my best friends in the world, Frank Ciccone, Fish Hands Franky, his YouTube channel, Instagram, and all that. Welcome to Outdoors Podcast, buddy.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here.
Awesome to have you. I want to just start off with your fishing story. What was it that kind of got you into fishing? How did you get into it? And then we'll kind of get into fly fishing in a little bit.
I was hungry.
For bluegill.
Yep. Man, you know, it's I was pretty blessed to grow up with a dad that sought the outdoors.
That's awesome.
He didn't talk about it a lot. He just went and did it. And I remember, you know, getting we would go camping every summer as a family. We had like a fifth wheel trailer.
Yep.
Which is pretty fancy for back then.
Yeah, those are big time.
You know,
fancy for today.
Grandfather had it. He was very proud of the rig. You know, we'd be riding over to camp, and he'd always be like, "Is it still back there?" Classic camper joke.
Yep.
So we would go camping in Holbrook, Massachusetts every year. And I remember getting my first fishing pole, and I must have sat out in that dock for a week straight, just trying to catch something on a little map spinner, or Lord knows what I had.
Yeah.
It took me 3 summers to get a fish out there, by the way.
Oh, so there weren't too many in there.
The only picture of that darn fish, my grandfather cut the head off of it. And I'm wearing a Morris t-shirt, and I'm holding out a fish. I was short in arm in it, though. I was a rookie. And I was holding a headless fish.
Short arming a headless fish is your first fish experience.
Yeah.
So where did the interest in fly fishing kind of come in? How did that become a big part of your life?
I have to credit my wife for that.
Okay, I can do the same for mine.
Yep. Oh, really?
Yeah. Sarah got me my first fly rod for my birthday.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Shout out Sarah. Shout out Jessica.
I love the hang, dude, because every time we hang out, I find out we have something else in common.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jessica booked. I was very into smallmouth fishing with gear.
Okay.
I had moved here from Massachusetts, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep.
I had figured out that I needed to be in the outdoors more often. I had figured out that the native fish in Missouri was smallmouth.
Yep.
And that they were pure badness.
So you touch on the word native a lot. Like, why is native important to you?
They're supposed to be here.
Okay.
Right? They don't get the protection that they should have, in my opinion. Not just here in Missouri, but, you know, native fish everywhere.
Yeah.
Big organizations are filling up the rivers with fish that are stocked and, you know, not necessarily supposed to be there. So, not that that's necessarily a bad thing everywhere, but what's happening here locally is that a lot of the funding is being pushed into those programs instead of where I would really like to see it go, which is towards native smallmouth.
Gotcha. So Jessica got you hooked up on some sort of a trip?
Oh, yeah. So I'm into gear fishing, and Father's Day rolls around, and she says, "Hey, I booked this cool little spot called Westover Farms." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this sounds amazing." She's like, "This cabin, the like river's right there, right out the door, you know, and we can go hang out, and it's gonna be awesome. My dad can come."
Yeah.
I was like, "Big T and I, yeah, I'll get him on some fish." And I'm scrolling down the website, and it's like fly fishing only.
Got it.
And I was like, "Oh no."
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that was your origin story. I honestly didn't. As much as we've talked about fishing, as much as we've hung out and been in the truck for hours and hours at a time going fishing, I did not know that that's how it came together.
I've been waiting for this podcast to tell you.
Unbelievable. That's amazing. That's actually fantastic.
The world's most patient man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did what any young-blooded human would do. I called up old Big T and I said, "Tom, we got to get fly fishing stuff." And he goes, "I already have a 4-weight. And I went, what?
No way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's like, I've been fishing in the Adirondacks. And
oh, Big T.
Shout
out Big T.
He's a great human. Very lucky to have him as a father-in-law. Great man. So we go over to where the next webpage that popped up after Westover Farms Fly Fishing Only, Tom Hargroves.
Another Big T.
Another Big T.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not today.
Not today.
So he, I look on the website and I'm like, this place looks like a house. I'm like, that's my spot, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going into some, real fancy spot. I don't know what I'm doing. This place looks real welcoming.
It's rad.
Dude, and we pull in, walk through the front door, jingle jangle. And who's behind
Jingle jangle.
the counter? Smiling Craig.
Yep.
Big welcome from Tom himself.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I get hooked up with the St. Croix.
Great rod.
5-weight. That thing will roll cast from here to Tulsa. Is that a spot?
Yeah.
And we went fly fishing, and Tom and I caught trout, rainbow trout at Westover Farms.
Yeah.
And that was it for me, man. Like, the first tug on the fly rod, that was... Honestly, I might have fished my gear like one or two more times. That was it.
There's this debate on, like, should you show your kids these idyllic places early so that they have this expectation of that's what it's like. Westover kind of paints an interesting picture of, what reality is, because that place looks like a Thomas Kincaid painting. I mean, it is unbelievably beautiful, and it's great water, right? And there's a lot of opportunities to catch fish there. They limit the number of people that can be there, on a daily basis, so you're not going to be overrun with people or pressure.
Yep.
And they're just the nicest people in the world that run it. And man, oh man, are those accommodations special. I hate to sound like we're doing a commercial for Westover, but it's such a special place that we have at our access, and they take such good care of the people.
Yeah. Tom and Lisa are salt of the earth.
Unbelievable people. Just the nicest and most fun, right? I mean, they just make it really enjoyable.
Yep. It's the closest thing to like an English chalk stream that you can get to in the U.S. I'm sure of it. That meadow...
It's a bold statement.
...is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
But also, for me, like, walking the beat. There's something about walking the beat there that, like, slows you down.
Yeah.
And makes you want to get a fly fishing vest, which I've never wanted to wear before in my life. But in that meadow... It just feels right.
You feel like you're in the Shire. It's unbelievable. And again, it just... I have never had a bad day at Westover.
No. I put Winnie, little Winnie Mae, she was 5 years old, on her first rainbow trout in that hole down the end of the meadow. And she still tells everybody she's caught the biggest fish in the family to this day. It's awesome, man. I
saw a legitimate 2-year-old. With his dad's help, like on the net, but like back cast, forward cast, drift, set hook, strip line, land fish. Like it legitimately changed my view of how old your kids have to be before you could put a fly rod in their hand.
Did you yell out, "Hey, Deuce"?
I just yelled set.
And then be like, "Kelly Gallup, is that you?"
It was unbelievable. It was such a fun day. So that's crazy. So let's get kind of fast forward. So, how did that translate to you basically turning this into probably one of the biggest parts of your life?
That's a really good question, man. Nobody's really ever asked me that before. It was incremental.
Okay.
It was a little bit at a time. I literally wore out the tip top on that rod. Oh. Like, Tom couldn't believe it when I brought it in. I was like, "Hey, I think I got some wear on my fly rod." And he's like, "That's impossible. It'll take you 5 years." And he looked at it and he goes, "How much have you been fishing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Every day." He's like, "Oh, he's got the sickness."
Yeah.
Craig, bust out the nice stuff. We got him.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just fished a lot and I found this little creek, old LP, that about 2.5 hours away. And it drew me in, man. If I had, literally, I would drive there for a half day of fishing. If I could get away from work, or I had a Sunday morning free, I would do the 5 hours of driving in that day just to put my feet in that creek.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the naturally reproducing rainbows that are in there. You and I had headed over to Hargroves pretty early on after we met.
Yeah.
And I saw the community that was there and the people, and just kept coming back. So a lot of fishing, and then a lot of hang at the shop, a lot of like time around fishy dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are my people.
I've said it before on other podcasts, and I'll continue to ring it true. I mean, I've been to 100+ fly shops around the country, and add to that probably at least 50 to 100 more outdoor outfitters. And there are certain kind of through lines or consistencies that you see in like the ones that feel special. They just have a different feel to them. And most of it is just like people hanging out. It's like the people that do that hobby are just there when they're not buying stuff. It just becomes the community hangout place.
Yep.
And I know at the Alpine Shop in St. Louis has a lot of that for the paddling sports, kayaking and stuff like that. They do a great job. I've loved the Alpine Shop for 30+ years now. God, probably more like 40. But one of the things that I think makes Hargroves really, really special is not only do all the employees really try to make you, welcome and feel like you know how to fish and where to go and what to do and all that.
Yeah.
But then just the number of like old guys that hang out there and take an interest in the dudes that show up or the gals that show up that show an interest in the hobby.
Yep.
There's an instant group of friends that you have. So, I have said that, like, as I've gotten older into my 30s and 40s, your friends from high school and college and some of those, they get their kids and they go their directions and things happen and you kind of, lose some friendships. I gained like 60 friends in 1 year just hanging out at the fly shop.
Yeah.
And just like, and some of them are 75 or 80.
Yeah.
Some of them have wild in front of their names, stuff like that. but then I just, running into them at concerts and all kinds of stuff. They're just the best group of dudes.
Schmo.
And the gals
Schmo and his son.
Yeah.
Like 10th row.
Yeah, the gals that
Schmo,
show
what are
up,
you
it's
doing
just
here?
such a fun group of people. And so to me, like, that's what my interest in fly fishing has been, is all the people that I get to hang out with.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of guy that just goes out to a river and sits there by myself and fishes.
Yeah.
I wish I was. I'm just not that guy. I got to admit it. But it's been the best vehicle for me to hang out with my friends. And you said something earlier that I think is important, like the fact that it slows you down. It's one of those things, it's like surfing or some of the other things where like you have to be fully focused on what you're doing in the moment. You can't be thinking about something else. If your eyes go 10 inches away from the fly, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So that slow down and that just focus on what's at hand is such an important thing today. And it's just so good for that.
There's something about the sound of moving water that locks my brain in. There's some new hilarious video going around the internet that's like, if this sound calms you down, you have ADD. And I'm like, it does. Oh no, I've got ADD. Then I'm like, no. This is very similar to the sound of like a rushing river.
Yeah.
It's just a constant little bit of shh. Locks me in, dude. That doesn't happen at the side of a lake. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, I'll end up casting a lot more at the side of a lake because it doesn't slow me down the same way it does in a river. One
of the things that I have to admit that I have kind of shied away from, and maybe it's because I don't have a belly boat or something like that, but, coastal lake fishing is a big thing in the kind of the northwest zone of Oregon where I live. And
what are they fishing for?
coastal cutthroats.
Golly, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, but you're just out there in a floating around waist deep, and just...
If anybody listening to this has done this, like, roast us in the comments, because I can see just dangling the old feetsies out there and being like, what the hell am I doing?
And like all my friends that I've met, all the guys that are in my fishing club and stuff like that, this is kind of like one of the big things. In fact, the Rainland Fly Casting Club Fly Fishing Club just went out to a lake a couple of weekends ago to basically go fishing for coastal cutthroat. But they were like, if you don't have a tube or a boat or a pontoon or something, and it's I don't know that lake allows motors, so you're basically a small boat. I don't even know if we could put your boat on it,
like a raft.
Like I don't know if they have a ramp or anything.
Okay.
But the lake thing just doesn't hit me the same way.
You float out to the offshore and then cast at the shore?
Me?
Well, I'm saying if you're in the belly boat.
No. Oh, yeah. You're just fishing.
That's what's going on.
They get these vertical views. You'll just go on any mapping software or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can see the structure in the lake. Like you can see the depth. You can see where the edges are, right? So for those of you that don't do a lot of fishing, maybe you're new to fishing or maybe you're interested in fishing, trout, the fish that we're talking about, have a tendency to hang out where water changes. So kind of where it goes from shallow to deep or from fast to slow. Those tend to be places where trout kind of hang out. And so you're giving yourself a better chance of catching fish or finding fish if you're kind of on those areas. And then for other
that's
fish,
where the bugs are, man.
Yeah. And then for other fish like bass or smallmouth, you're looking for structure. So like big trees that have fallen in the water, or big giant chunky boulders and rocks where there's like ledges and big areas for them to hide. That's what you're going to be throwing your flies
ambush.
at. Exactly.
Because they're the best fish in the world.
I have not really put a lot of stock into learning how to go lake fishing, because the rivers are what I'm after.
Yeah.
That's what speaks to me, for sure. I get that.
Hiking a river.
Yeah.
I don't even, at this point, I'm not even sure I need to fish it. I'm happy with a camera in my hand, hiking down the river, and just being there. That'll do it for me.
So let's talk about that, right? So you and I met basically through our mutual friend Ed. Shout out to the caveman. And and we quickly became friends and started hanging out a lot and going fishing a lot and stuff like that. What were we talking about? I completely lost my train of thought.
Very likely cameras.
Oh,
and
yeah,
how
yeah.
that entered the picture.
And so at the time that you and I met, I think I already had a channel. I'm pretty sure I did, right?
Yeah. It wasn't as big as Outdoors with AJ, but
it was humming along. And then you got kind of interested in the whole YouTube thing, and we started talking about it.
Yeah.
And you started a channel. What got you interested in having a YouTube channel and all the social media things that go along with it?
The YouTube part of it wasn't the part that, everything involved in the YouTube thing, right? Being online and all that. I'm not a share a big fish guy.
Okay.
I'm stoked if I get a unordinarily big fish for myself, but go to my Instagram and it's just pictures of massive fish.
Gotcha.
So that, it wasn't that. It wasn't I want to be a big fish guy.
Okay.
I lost my dad when I was 13. And
Barry Wayne.
B-dubs, baby. Best dad in the world. No offense to your dad.
None taken.
I had 13 years with him. Probably better than most people's entire lives with their dad.
Good compliment.
And man, just an awesome dude. And fishing with him and his two crazy uncles, my great uncles, they were a pair, my friend. I mean, high holing, whistling through the teeth.
Yeah.
Card playing.
Yes.
Grumpy drunk.
Yes.
Just the best, greatest uncles you could ever
Uncles,
have.
that's the
dude.
definition of an uncle.
Now, I thought they were gear fishing because I was gear fishing back then.
Okay.
Right? Salmon eggs, hook, eagle claw, baby.
Yeah.
Big old bobber.
Fishing.
They were fly fishing, dude. And I did not figure that out until I was moving some stuff in my storage spot and found my dad's fiberglass rod.
Oh, cool.
And I was like the light bulb went off. I'm like, there's no spinning gear here, and this is all my dad's stuff.
Oh, cool.
He was fly fishing. And I had that realization. I was like, you know what? If there's one thing in this world that I would love to have, it's the sound of my dad's voice. And I was like, I'm going on some pretty epic adventures, and I'd love to document these adventures for my kids.
Oh, that's a cool way of thinking about it.
You know?
Yeah. Making home movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I'm doing.
You're basically a dad with a camcorder on your shoulder.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
I dig that.
You know?
Yeah.
And then I got really into the editing part because I've been, researching other outdoor filmmakers, primarily ones in fly fishing originally, but I fell in love with the process of editing.
Yeah.
And, I'm slowly getting better at it. And I'm not hiding that journey.
Yeah.
It's all out there. My first video's out there, and it's unwatchable. But my kids, 10 years from now, my films are going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And
your films are already pretty damn good, man.
It's like, oh, thanks, dude. You're never happy with what you produce, but you just move on.
Yeah.
But it's a lot like Scotty. You can go back to Scotty's channel and see his early work. And I didn't realize that until he highlighted that.
Yeah.
In one of his annual wrap-ups.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. And I started scrolling down, and I'm like, oh my God, he's like a teenager with a camera.
Yeah, I think he started when he was 12,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, it gives you an appreciation for. I love it when the people that have had a lot of success do give you that view of it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I've been plugging away at this for a decade.
Yes.
I've been iteratively getting better at it, and that is probably what you and I talk about more than anything else when it comes to being, YouTubers or creators or filmmakers or whatever the hell you want to call us.
Yeah.
Is the process of getting better, little tips and things that we figure out, whether it's magnetic masks in editing or, hardware and different things. We talk about cameras, we talk about software, we talk about
storage.
Oh, God. Yeah, where are you going to store all of the gigabytes and terabytes of footage and audio, and how are you going to organize it in a way that you could find it later?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, that really goes unseen by a lot of filmmakers, right? They're just putting out the films, which is great. We want to see the creative work.
Yeah.
But there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes of you buy Michael commented about this, one of the other members of our fishing club, the Jeffersons, our other filmmaker buddy, Euro Nymph. And
he's so good, dude.
If Michael made more films, he'd be better than us.
Way better.
Way better.
What a storyteller, dude.
Yeah. Michael has an eye for telling a much more complex story than we do.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yes.
With a lot fewer films.
Yes. I admire his work, and I'm not sure he realizes how much I do. But I admire his work.
It's so impressive.
Yeah.
And I understand that Michael's on a bit of a filmmaking hiatus because he just had twins, and so obviously that's a priority, and he's even acknowledged his heart's very full and everything is great.
Yeah.
It just means that he can't make as many fly fishing films. That's totally
fair.
Cool. Totally
That's
fair.
I
anticipate.
will wait. That's how much I like his
Yeah.
I will wait.
And I also anticipate Michael's films fishing with the twins will probably be pretty awesome. I bet that'll be a fun adventure.
Think I'll have a backpack and a chesty out there.
No offense to Michael, but I don't know that he's got the frame for it.
he's
As they get bigger, I don't know that he's got the frame.
Leg work immediately.
Yeah, and probably up in the portions. But up in the we probably need some more protein.
Get him on the elk. He'll be all right.
Just a pound of elk a day, Michael. we've got such a fun group of friends. It kind of brings us to our friends, right? We decided, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years, whenever it was, we decided to start a fishing club.
Yes.
And it was you, myself, and our friend Ed and our friend Michael. I don't know why.
I was like, wait, can you do that?
Yeah. And like, we kind of talked about, does it need an LLC? Does it need a bank account? Do we need bylaws?
We got pins.
You know what I mean? And we basically made up a logo that's just like a fish on some fancy filigree or something. It's a terrible logo by today's standards.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah. And Ed made some like enamel pins and gave them to everybody. And it just became this fun thing that it wasn't like our fishing buddies. It was like, the Jeffersons.
We made Bill get a tattoo of it.
And Eric got a brand. Yeah.
Branded. What you doing down there?
And then we decided, like, hey, we have these friends that seem to be a good fit for this thing. We talked about, like, should we expand it? Should we not? How are we going to do this? Do we need to have a vote? And we basically just said, we like these guys. And they got into the group chat, and it's just been an absolute blast ever since. We have just the best group of friends.
Yeah.
And we talk about everything from tires to how to solve, drainage problems at our houses to what flies to tie and new gear for all kinds of things.
My favorite updates are when Eric updates from tearing apart some piece of Caterpillar equipment, and he's just like, boys, I'm out here today. We're replacing the condenser.
Putting the flux capacitor on this new
putting the
Caterpillar.
flux capacitor on this old cat. And he's got the whole thing torn apart, and you're just like, Jesus, you got to go home for like 3 hours. You know?
He's such
a
fun,
talented dude.
Dude. We have such a weird combination of friends that do wildly different things.
That's
right.
What
we
makes
have corporate guys. We have blue collar guys. We have, I'm a nonprofit guy. Like, we have such weird career differences, but we just all kind of came together around fishing, which has just been great. And quite frankly, all of us have different like preferences in fishing. We do different styles, different kinds of gear.
Yeah.
And we decided a while back that we should take an annual trip as a group, and that should be something that we try to prioritize. All of us have busy lives. Most of you guys have kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are grown. Some of them are less grown. But we said, like, hey, let's try to at least put in a weekend trip.
That's the answer to the original question. Why do you start a fishing club?
Yeah.
It's for the annual trip.
Yes.
110%. That's why you do it.
Ours pulled through.
Yeah.
It wasn't maybe the best fishing trip.
Sorry about that. I slayed him 4 months earlier, I swear.
So we started talking about the planning, right? And let's talk about why our trip worked out, right? Because I think there's some people that deserve credit and all that.
Yeah. Can I share my reason
Please.
Why it worked out, and then we'll get to the people part of it?
Yep, 100%.
It worked out because of the setting for me.
Okay.
The cabin setup, being able to tie flies around one of the cabin tables.
Yep.
Being able to walk down to the river. Beautiful meadow. The whole scene, dude.
Yep.
For me, it was like, this is a place where this group of guys can just let it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah. It was such a fun, I've told the story a million times on the podcast, so I won't beleaguer it, but, I got into the outdoors again as an adult because of a float trip I went on with some buddies.
Yep.
High school buddies invited me on a float trip, and it reminded me that, like, you can put the cell phone down on occasion and just hang out with your friends like you did in high school.
Please do.
And as I kind of continued in backpacking and then got into fly fishing and stuff, those moments where you just take a weekend to go, like, hang out with your friends.
Yep.
And, pop a couple of adult sodas and just hang out and tie flies. Like, we all decided to tie flies. So some of the events of our weekend, some of the things that we kind of all said, like, hey, should we do this? Yeah, we should do that. How do we do that? What should we do? One of them became, like, let's tie flies. So everybody bring a vise. If you have a vise, yep, sounds great. Everybody bring one.
Ed, bring a fly shop.
And
what a gentleman.
Ed, this is what I love about Ed, right? We have two guys out of the 4 that don't really tie a lot of flies. I don't think Bill ties a lot.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he does.
He ties well, though.
He's good, but he doesn't tie a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't just sit around in his basement and tie flies.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Missouri allergies.
And I'm not good at tying flies because I don't tie a lot of flies, but I'm proficient in most things. Ed decides to bring the materials for like a double articulated just feathers and all kinds of stuff.
Start the boy out with some D&Ds.
Yeah. Let the boy watch.
Let the boy watch.
He needs to learn like I did.
From my daddy's daddy.
My father and his father's father.
His father's father. Oh, man.
Plums.
Take it to market.
And so we get into fly tying, and Eric's vise isn't really working out, so I give him my vise, so I just stopped tying. I don't know what happened to your vise, but you just decided out of nowhere to tie in hand, which for those of you that don't know, it just literally means you hold the hook in your hand and then tie the fly while you're just holding this pointy thing in your hand.
It's a simple enough pattern. Why not?
Unbelievable. And we had an absolute ball tying flies.
I don't think most of the guys realized I was doing that for like half the fly.
It took a while before it really became a thing. And we just had an absolute ball tying flies, and that pretty, kind of set the tone for the next day.
Yeah.
We hit the river. We had an all-day float. I think we did 9 miles or something like that.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Got off the river. Our boat didn't catch any fish. Me, Ed, and Eric did not bring in anything. Your boat, each guy caught a fish.
Thank you.
And we're attributing it to the right line, which was there was a recommendation made by
Mr. Chris Conant.
Mr. Chris Conant from T. Hargo Fly Fishing.
Current shop manager and local legend.
Yeah.
Down chasing tarpon in
national
Florida
legend.
right now. National. Actually international, dude.
Yeah, in many ways. Shout out to Chris. And Chris basically kind of, made some recommendations and said, hey, man, if you guys are going to go smallmouth fishing, this is the line I would put on. I think
you need
it was
a 6-foot sink tip.
It was a 351. What was it?
It's an SA. Shout out Scientific Anglers.
Yep.
One of their sink tips, like a 3-inch per second sink tip, like
something
pretty
like
aggressive.
That. It was more than an intermediate.
Yeah.
Like it was a full sinking line, wasn't it? Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, it was a sink tip.
Okay, it was a sink tip line.
But I think it might have had some intermediate running. Okay. I don't know the exact model. By the way, how do I not know the exact model after the only people that caught fish were on the fly line?
Yeah.
In was it April?
No, it was March. Early March.
Early
Yeah.
March. You got to get down and dirty quick in March. And we got to go get that line from Bill.
Yeah, so one of our takeaways from the trip was if you're planning a group trip and you're going to emphasize the fishing, plan it for a month where that kind of fishing is prevalent.
We could have gone trout fishing.
We went smallmouth bass fishing in March in Missouri when it was forecasted to be 25 degrees.
I've always wanted to do it, though. It was a bucket list trip for me.
It's not a high probability of success setup. But we had a ball on the river. Ed cooked an absolutely killer meal, which is kind of one of the staples of our club.
Cooked his caveman nuts off that
We
weekend.
had some bison tacos
So
on the
good,
river with awesome fresh vegetables and cilantro and all kinds of salsas and amazing stuff.
Pico de gallo.
Which is one of the, if we were going to have principles for the fishing club.
Oh, yeah.
It's that.
This is a hot tip. Also, hot tip 1, start a fishing club for the annual trip. Hot tip 2, make sure you have delicious. Yeah, bring a chef with you. Make sure you indoctrinate a chef into your club. That's important.
Yeah. Bake that in. But it's a factor in if the fishing doesn't turn out well.
Yeah.
We had a kick-ass day on the water on a beautiful river in some awesome boats.
Yep.
We had 2 river rats with us. And Ryan from down in the Ozarks lent us his boat.
Mr. Ryan Walker.
Remind me again of his fly fishing company. I should always know this because he's great.
FreeTheFighter.com.
Free the Fighter.
Ozark Smallmouth Fly Co.
Yeah, there you go. Ryan was so gracious in essentially lending us his backup boat for the day. And so we had the opportunity to go out and fish. I think half the club's gone out fishing with him as a guide, so he's just unbelievable in giving us intel and a great float to go on. We had a ball. I mean, didn't have a lot of fishing success, but we had a ball.
Ed definitely broke one of his fly rods before we even pulled out of his driveway. He felt so bad about it.
Yeah, dude. Ryan lent us a fly rod to make sure that we had the equipment we need, and then Ed snapped the tip in the tailgate of his truck, literally before we left Ryan's driveway.
Yeah.
So
I think he hit it with his shoulder though. It was just an honest little
just a little
turned.
Yeah.
Boom. But he literally, caveman being caveman.
There'll be a new section in the mail coming for you.
When you get to where you're going, just heat that up and put the tip there.
Put back on it.
Yeah, I mean it's a half an inch, dude. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
God damn it.
Repaired the rod in hand before we left.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I got it. No big deal.
Advantage of having a chef and like a master creator in your fly fishing club.
Ryan's stoked to be one of the few people in the state of Missouri now with an 8 foot 11 weight or 8 foot 11
8 foot
inch.
11 inch. 7 weight.
7 weight.
Yeah. It's a one-off rod.
It's a research for TFO.
Yeah, exactly. It's an R&D project.
Yeah.
But then, got off the river, and I think one of the things that we need to... Oh, what did that just say? Device overheated. Oh, boy. Hold on.
Hit the button.
Okay. So after a little technical difficulty and dunking my camera in a glass of water so we could get it to cool down, because we're trying to record this for all of you in high def and all that kind of stuff.
Night mode.
Night mode. So we had a great trip. We went fishing. We did the whole thing. We got back to the cabin the next day. We had some time to just kind of hang out and chill in the morning, had some breakfast and that kind of thing. And then we recorded, kind of an interview or a summary on your camera, which is just... Let's spend a second talking about your camera.
That video hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, we still have to figure that one out.
It's in the hopper.
In the hopper. You recently had the opportunity to invest in a new camera.
I took a paying job as a filmmaker.
Yep.
My first one.
Yep.
Which is really exciting. And funded a camera purchase with that project.
Which is kind of like one of the dreams of being a filmmaker. When you get the skills of filming and editing and lighting and some of the other things that kind of come along with being a YouTuber, that can open up opportunities to do corporate work. Yep. And you've started a business around it so that you have the opportunity to do that and make sure it's all in the up and up.
Yes.
And that gave you the opportunity to go out and buy a camera that you'd quite frankly been somewhat dreaming about, thinking about for over a year at that point.
When you have kids, you should get two things. Number one, an LLC.
Okay.
You're going to love those write-offs your whole life.
Yep.
Number two is a serious camera.
Okay.
I invested after a lot of research, and you're a Sony guy, and I really appreciate the fact that you're letting me go down the route of a Canon guy, right?
I think it's important for everyone to have the gear that they like using. And what I like using is not necessarily going to be what you like using. But we talk about gear a lot, but we don't have a lot of crossover in gear.
Yeah, which makes it exciting for me.
Yeah.
You like what you like, right? I really fell for the Canon R5C. It's been out on the market a while. It originally had issues with overheating. They solved that through a bunch of, patches and updates. The batteries just got better. And I've been watching. Canon was coming out with their new line of cameras. And I knew the R5C was going to go on serious sale. And I waited, and that project came around at just the right time. So I was able to take, the funding from that project, put it into the Canon R5C. I don't have all the lenses that I want yet, right?
It's part of being a camera operator.
Got a very powerful camera body that's very capable for outdoor shooting. And the still photography with that camera is incredible.
What was it about the spec on that camera that made you choose that one? I mean, sorry, if you're in the outdoors, I'm sorry, this is going to be kind of geeky shit, but I don't really care.
It is geeky shit.
Yeah.
And that's why it's
but we like it.
interesting.
Yeah.
I wanted a camera that could shoot 120, 120 frames per second, so I could get real slow, juicy fish footage.
Basically means that you can slow the footage down to 25% of its original speed or a quarter of its original speed, and it still looks buttery smooth. So 120 frames a second is like one of the benchmarks that videographers look for in a camera. My camera shoots 1080 at 120 frames, and so all that the big difference between Frank's camera and my camera, there's a lot of differences. His does a lot of things that mine won't do, but one of the big things is that not only will his shoot 120 frames a second, which means he can slow it down by 4 times, but he can also then zoom in after the fact by 4 times,
4K.
and it still looks exactly as crisp as my camera would with the same slow-mo. Not zoomed in. So he can go, 200 yards away from a thing and make it look the same that mine can at 50, but still slowed down to the same rate, which is a huge advantage.
24 to 105, f ridiculous 2.8, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's the new RF lens that came out, and you can reach out and touch somebody with that thing, man. It is sweet.
It's a really versatile lens. It covers a long
good stabilization.
And then one of the other big things I think for the long run for you, although I don't know that's necessarily the lens you'd use on a gimbal, the fact that it doesn't zoom externally gives you the ability to kind of have some benefits versus the cameras that like the zoom comes way out like a telescope.
And that's why they're able to go from 24 to 105 without external zoom like that lens. Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like
it's a howitzer.
Yeah. You're going to be getting some guns.
It's like putting a 40-ounce can on the front of your camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
But internal zoom's sweet. So for those reasons, in addition to really great glass and a good look, it's an expensive lens. But the other thing about that camera is I can shoot, as far as the options for shooting, you can shoot in like RAW and C-Log.
Yeah, you've got a lot of color grading options. You've got a lot of photo editing options after the fact. And one of the things that you and I have talked about is kind of going back to the project that helps you afford the camera.
Yeah.
Is you really put yourself in a position to do really high-end corporate work. I mean, I'm not talking about, getting hired for a Nike commercial or something, but there's a lot of corporate work that you could then are now qualified to go do with you bought a really solid grade tripod, you've got some lighting, you've got you've invested in gear that puts you in a professional category where you can go out and do a certain level of corporate work, which will afford you more lenses and more gear and stuff. You're not going to get rich doing it just yet.
Nope.
But it makes buying the gear a lot more reasonable when you start to kind of expand into some of those corporate gig areas.
Then I can get a second camera body.
Never ending. And you and I talk about this a lot, right? Like, how do we get our gear onto the water? Because we're bringing really expensive technology out onto the water. We're bringing, Yeti boxes and boat bags, and all of our stuff is submersible. So we have to make investments beyond the camera gear just to protect it, because we're taking it into precarious scenarios.
Yeah, I'm taking it out into a flat in the middle of the ocean outside of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And, running a skiff aground as the sun's going down. And guess what? You got a mile hike in the water to get to the guy who's coming to pick you up.
Yeah, with an 8-pound camera.
That happens.
Yeah.
Yeti loadout box, the small one. It's what I keep that camera in when I'm not shooting with it. And
Bomb-proof.
Terrible to hike through mud in the ocean with no light.
You basically had the equivalent of like a cell phone battery pack when our parents were young for like a mile-long hike through a swamp.
Yeah. Luckily, I was with dudes who were very cool, about the fact that I was going to be filming and about the fact that I needed to get that equipment out of there and back to the houseboat that night.
Yeah.
Because they helped me carry it, and I'm very thankful for that.
So I think that kind of transitions well, right? Because the reason you were on that trip is that, you know, you built relationships through Instagram and through podcasts and through YouTube videos with a couple of guys down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And, you know, the dads on the fly.
Joshua and Caleb, man.
And those guys, dads on the fly.
Dads on the fly.
They're the best. And,
They
you
are
know,
the
you've
best.
built this great relationship with these guys through social media and then turned it into a real relationship by going and fishing with these guys. They
Yeah.
throw some events and trips.
Their fathers, shout out to Joshua and Caleb. Besides being just salt of the earth people and some of the kindest, most caring, sharing people that I've ever met, they're living their dream by having a community based off the podcast.
They're making a blueprint for a lot of
It's
us
unreal.
in what that can be if you're willing to be consistent and put
Yeah.
in the work.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are a couple of dudes, brothers, that started a podcast because they were in their basement with some really basic gear. And, you know, no fancy hardware technology.
Yep.
And they were, you know, new fathers, not super new, but like, you know, dads of young kids.
On the fly.
And learning on the fly. And got into fly fishing kind of together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And got into fly tying. And in, I mean, what, a handful of years, 3-4 years, they've put together over 100 episodes. They've interviewed some of the most...
They just had Sean Combs on.
I mean, dude, they've had Rosenbauer. They've had
product designer for Orvis. Besides Tom Rosenbauer himself,
James from About Trout.
James from About Trout. Like,
they've had a bunch of a ton of big voices in the fly fishing industry, and I think it's one of those. They're one of those channels that I look at and just go like, "Oh man, you can go out and build this thing any way you want to."
yeah,
And then they started setting up group trips where they'd be like, "Hey, if you want to get your son together and come down to North Carolina and fish for a weekend and meet other dads with their kids and hang out and play baseball."
I did a couple videos from Lake Logan. There's a freestone that runs in there. Big brown trout. It's my son's birthday that time of year. It's in April, and yeah, we've been going on the dad's retreat every year they've had it. They didn't have it this year. Obviously, you know, the flooding that happened in and around Asheville was tremendous.
Yeah.
Had a lot of impact on the local community. So this year they did a dad's retreat out to New Orleans in the Chandeleur Islands. Chandeleur Island. We went to the Pelican, but which was amazing too. But there's something really special about that dad's trip with your son. I'll go every year they host it, man.
Yeah.
Really built a great relationship with them, and I'm thankful. And you know what? I met those guys out in Utah on a river rat trip that I was lucky enough to be invited on by Brian Walker. You know, I've had my river rat boat for years now.
Brian's the best.
You know, and Brian's been there for me the entire time. So he just got back from the jungle, man. He
took river rats to the Amazon in Brazil and
nuts.
went on the adventure of a lifetime.
I got the download. I got like the offline download on that trip. Crazy.
Wild,
Torrential
I'm sure.
rain, like rescue off the river, insane. And those boats did it all, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Brian has been the absolute best. We've got some cool news to share that we'll share kind of down the road as things materialize a little bit more.
We got to bring him back.
Brian from River Rat is helping some friends of ours put together like a big adventure film series this summer, basically providing a boat for just what's going to be an awesome adventure. So, Brian, I can't thank you enough for your support for Outdoors with AJ, Outdoors Podcast, with Fish Hands with Franky, and all that you're doing to provide fishing rafts for, you know, an enormous part of our fishing community. You are just the best, dude. So thanks, man.
Huge supporter of filmmakers and guys that are promoting getting outdoors with their family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And he's putting those boats to the test to just really prove that they're a lot more than just a backyard, take it in the lake fly fishing boat.
Yeah.
You can really take those rafts just about anywhere, and he's proven it. He's putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, I mean, he crated up and flew him over to Brazil.
Yeah.
You know, he's quite a guy, and he makes a great boat. I can't thank him enough, and the support and service that he gives to the folks that run his boats professionally as guides has been really great. And I've seen that in my own backyard with Ryan. He's done a good job.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I think has been, I want to kind of go back to our trip. You don't have to spend a truckload of money to put together a weekend fishing trip.
Nope.
I think this is a bit of an anomaly, and we keep saying shout out, but special thanks to our buddy Ed, because our weekend fishing trip, and I'm not kidding about this, our weekend fishing trip, short of gasoline to get from St. Louis to southern Missouri, was $100 a guy. Which included 2 nights stay in a cabin where every guy had their own bed, comfortable cabin. I slept like a stone, with showers and everything that we needed. We had great cooking accommodations. We had front porches, and we had places to store our boats that were safe and everything. Yeah. We had great meals on both the water and back at the cabin. And we had a ton of entertainment and a lot of fun times, and it was $100 a guy.
Yeah.
$100 a guy. Now, he basically said, hey, bring some of your own lunches and stuff like that, but $100 a guy to
bring
go on a weekend
shack
fishing trip. Yeah. Snackle box.
Snackles.
We had an absolute ball on our fishing trip, and so I can't encourage more guys. Find a group of friends, start a fishing club, start an outdoor club, a backpacking club, whatever you want. Call it something, give it a logo, make it feel like something more than, just some buddies getting together. It will motivate you to go on trips. It will change your life. The Jeffersons has bent my life in such a wonderful, fantastic way. I can't thank you enough, and all the other Jeffersons, man. You guys just mean the world to me. So
we feel the same.
I appreciate you. I want to close with this, Frank. You've kind of talked about where you want your channel to go, and ultimately what you want to see kind of come from your channel. Share that with everybody out there, because I want those lodges and everybody out there that could work with you and be a part of your channel. Let's go into that a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The future of the channel is really, the primary goal. It's not to get monetized and, get paid on ads. You don't buy a camera like that and then make $50 a month to pay it off. That's just not how it works, And I never expect my channel to get huge. It's been slowly growing organically, and I'm very thankful for everybody that's hit the button, or left me a comment, shared their story with me. But that's not really the goal. The goal is to gain experiences by having a channel, getting access to experiences, new places to fish, and be in a position to bring my friends with me on those adventures.
Yeah.
Whether that's a lodge that's opened up and is looking for somebody to come in and make a real life film. Like, I'm not going to come in and make a commercial.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in and experience the place and share that with you. And I'm not getting paid to do it. It's not going to be sugar coated. I'm going to show you, like, if I get skunked, we'll go out fishing the next day if we have it. But if not, I'm putting the film out.
Yeah.
Because for me, again, I'm not there to catch a big fish. I'm there to go have an experience in a place that, I've never been before, or a place that means something to me. If it's a guide that's just starting a guide service and, wants to get the word out about, what's unique about their guide service, with the water that they're on, the experience,
Or maybe they're a 20-year guide that just doesn't know how to do that either, right? Maybe they're the best guide on the water, but they don't know how to get people to know what makes them special, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I really learned in fishing with, my buddies James and John and some of the other guys that I've gotten to fish with as guides, is they all have something that makes them special, right?
Yep.
And getting to share that. Some of them are good at it, some of them aren't. And getting to highlight what makes them special in the waterways and the ecospheres and the knowledge that they've gained in being on those rivers 200, 300 days a year.
Yep.
That's really special. But so few of them, it's hard to film yourself while you're guiding, while you're fishing, while you're doing these things. And so having someone that can come along and help you tell that story is really powerful. And so I applaud you for, kind of taking that approach. I've always said all along that my favorite part of Outdoors Podcast or Outdoors with AJ is the people that I've gotten to meet, right?
Yes.
And whether it's my buddy Purist on the Fly or, the relationships that I've built with some of the guys that I just talked about and about trout and the ridge fly fishing, some of those guys have, much like the Jeffersons, become some of my best friends.
Yes.
And guys that I talk to on the phone and guys that we, go fishing with when we travel around the country. That's been the biggest reward of all of this. Like, I make enough money to buy us a cigar every now and then on YouTube.
Ooh.
That's never what it's been about for me. And I don't care if the channel ever gets big. I just want to be able to build relationships with people by bringing some value that maybe they can't do themselves. So
and you're
that's
already
been
there.
awesome.
You're doing it. And
it's been fun.
Where I think for both of us, where it goes from here, we're excited about it.
Yeah.
But we're kind of already doing the thing that we wanted to do, and I'm very thankful for that. Man, I'm getting to fish with folks that through the network, like guys from Tyler and Jason and Adam and Gerald and all these dudes from around the country came in for the retreat down in New Orleans, and I'm making fishing plans with Tyler for the vineyard this summer. You know what I mean? He's like, I was like, dude, you can come up and stay. We're going to have a house. You can come stay with us. He's like, I called him and he's like, are you sure? Were you serious about that? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I loved fishing with you.
A day on the water is like 6 months of friendship in fast forward mode.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Your brain slows down fishing, and the relationship speeds up.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you're present with somebody for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, and you're really there. I'm not anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's a fast forward button to friendship. It's I think that's the best part. So where we take it from here, where my channel goes from here, I'm just going to keep trying to put out the best films that I can and try to have the best experiences possible. And I love to travel. My kids are getting older, so there may start to be more films that are local in the Ozarks. Then I was in Utah, I was in Florida, I was in the vineyard, I was Texas. But I'm going to keep seeking new experiences in these places. Yeah. Maybe the same river, but I don't know, man. These rivers don't fish the same way twice, so
they change so much from year to year.
The flooding alone,
you're
like, I don't recognize this place. That hole's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And that boulder's got a tree on it now. It's crazy. These rivers are intense.
And the chances that you're fishing it at the same CFS that you did last time or whatever it may be, there's always variables and factors, weather, moon phases, and all kinds of shit like that.
Yes, if you're a muskie angler, moon phase is real.
Southwood Shaman.
Yep. Shout out CJ.
Frank, let's kind of close with this. What are some of the places and or kind of, destinations or species that either really speak to you and or some of the stuff that you really look forward to doing in the future?
One of the best experiences of my life was putting, at the time, my 8-year-old son and his 9-year-old buddy who'd never fished before on a 40-inch striper on the fly.
That was a fun video to get in a text message.
On foot in Martha's Vineyard. And that place is hard to fish if you don't have somebody that's showing you around. You're trying to DIY it. It takes work. It took me 4 years to get to that moment. But that place is really special. And if there's one place that I want to go film every year, it's Martha's Vineyard. As far as like travel trips and stuff like that, I'd love to go back to New Zealand. I went there, my wife, my 2-year-old son, that dude's traveled, man. He's traveled more than I have. It's crazy. What a life. And I wasn't fly fishing at the time. Dude.
Right.
The Father's Day trip hadn't happened. So we saw this amazing place, and now I'm watching, the New Zealand guys just catch donkeys.
Yeah.
In a beautiful place.
One of the world's best fly fishing destinations.
Yeah. New Zealand's on the list, dude. Golden Dorado's on the list. Like, I think a bucket list moment, if you can get on one of Tom's Golden Dorado trips, like, you're living life.
Yeah. Being in that location with Tom, with Willie, with that crew, seeing that place with those guys that have experienced it so many times, but then going and catching these fish that are the size of a school bus and the color of one, it's just a really special place.
Yeah.
I could see that being a big time destination.
R.I.P. all the cigars and all the red wine.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Yeah,
Someday.
That's a good one.
Let's do
that's
that
a good
someday.
one.
We should do that.
We should definitely take that trip.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been an awesome one, Frank. I appreciate you coming. This has been a long time coming. We have some joint podcasts coming up. You're going to basically help me host a lot of my fly fishing podcasts coming up because it's just more fun, and you know a lot more about fishing than I do. So I really enjoyed doing our joint episode. That was a really good one, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with some folks coming up. Some of the episodes that I do have coming up, we're going to have John Legao, who is the owner of the Ridge Fly Fishing up in Minnesota. If you like fishing for smallmouth or muskie, definitely check out John's channel. He is the best. Go check out his website and book him for fly fishing.
I'm trying to get with him maybe in August.
Yeah.
I've been talking with him about going out and doing a film. That guy is awesome.
Dude, John is not only just an absolute surgeon with a drift boat, he is a master on a fly rod. Yeah. He's so much fun to be in a boat with for the day. Yeah. He loves that area. It's where he grew up. He spends so much of his spare time there, and now that he's kind of relocated his next 20 years there, I have no doubt that he is building just an absolute stud muskie service. So.
Yeah, I'm going to Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going to have a great time. And then we've got Andy from Lou Fly Guide Service is going to come on and do an episode with us.
Yeah, talk about new guide service in the area. Andy is a great human. Fishy is all get out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's grown up fishing where he's putting you in. That dude's got thousands of days.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to guide for him. He had a tandem trip. Put a kid on his first smallmouth on a popper.
What a cool experience.
It was amazing. His dad was in the front of the boat, whole deal. And, Andy's making moments like that happen.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Check him out. Bill's going fishing with him soon.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun to talk to him.
And then finally, we've got Brian from River Rat coming back on the channel to talk about his adventure in the Amazon and give us the details, kind of fill us all in on what he's already told you.
On what I missed.
Probably some more. Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll close with this. Shout out to the young guys over at T. Hargrove, to Owen and to Ryan. We love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We're proud of both of you guys. So keep getting out, keep fishing. You got a bright future ahead of you. So anything that you want to share, Frank, tell the folks how they find you, your channel and all your channels.
Fish Hands Franky across all the platforms.
Put the logo somewhere right here.
Yeah, it's somewhere right in here. Yeah. Where to find me? Cigar shop or somewhere chasing smallmouth.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching, guys. This was a fun one. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.